Why is being a hater the worst thing one can be in the world? Like, what is so wrong with that? As someone who hates everything, I genuinely want to know, what is wrong with you? Why can't you just live the way I want you to and let me live the way I want to? What do I mean when I say I hate everything? Let's take the example of any creative profession where the audience is the judge of your work. See, I don't hate you, I only hate your work. How can I hate you when I don't even know you? You might be a crappy human being or even a horrible human being, but I don't know you, so I can never judge the kind of a piece of shit human you are. I have no right to make a comment on the kind of a person you are when I don't even know the first thing about the idiots who gave birth to you. In what world will this make sense for me to abuse someone in a language that will make my parents disown me? So why the hell would I be concerned about the motherfucking ball-sucking son of a whore that you are? I can only talk about your work. That's the extent of this relationship. I'm paying for your work, and so I have every right to say whatever the fuck I want about your mother who produced you so you could produce this garbage and waste my money and time. Tell me, where am I wrong? Isn't that what every kid learns from their parents growing up when they see their mother paying the price for their father's anger? Father is not the villain here. He does not hate your mother, that's his wife. Why would he hate her when she is so useful for him in punching all that anger out of himself? He hates someone else, and your mother is just helping him cleanse all that anger and hatred out of himself so he doesn't ruin his health. That's called real love. That's what I grew up watching until it was my time to assist my mother in helping out my father with all his anger. This that's not hate or abuse. That's love. That's real. That's family. That's what families are for. So now tell me, how am I wrong in applying this philosophy to other aspects of life? When I see something I don't like, obviously I will share my ideas on how the person who has created this work can try harder and look for multiple ways to end his life and do a favor to this world. That is harsh, but not hate. It becomes hate when you start attacking the person instead of his work, when you are just hating on someone for existing. That's inhumane. But if you're encouraging him to die because of something he said, something he made, that's just you exercising your right as a consumer. To be a rational consumer, you cannot let your emotions get the better of you and be vague and all over the place with your criticism. You cannot write just go die. That's childish. You need to let him know exactly what you have in mind for his demise. Something like, why don't you stab your eyes with the pen you used to write this shitty book? That's a descriptive and a well thought out review. It shows who you are, someone who is well educated about the creative uses of a pen. Another example can be, why don't you shove a pen up your ass if you read something or watch something you don't like? See, you're not abusing him like an idiot. You're asking a question which will make him think. You made him think, and that is constructive criticism. He'll contemplate on this. Yeah, why don't I shove a pen up my ass? I don't know, I always used a pencil by first dipping it in some oil and it went inside smoothly. Then what am I doing wrong? Like, am I missing something? I should give this a pen a try. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. This is not hate. This is just you thinking and formulating a thought-provoking, anal-poking comment, and the reference of that pen is relatable to a T. We were all punished this way by our private tutors when we failed to submit our homework. It's something we can all relate to, can't we? Hate is the poison that you drink when you generate those bitter feelings within yourself. So in order to let those feelings out and save your soul, you can practice many productive ways. One of them is writing the worst things possible about another human being anonymously in their comment section if you don't like their content. It's for your own sake. Like, if you encounter something you don't like, but others like, but you don't like, you hate it. So what do? Just ignore it and watch something else? I don't know about you guys, but that's not the values I grew up with. My father didn't just ignore my mom when he caught her cheating on him with her colleague. He walked up to them and taught the guy a lesson. Yeah, he taught him. He taught him how it's really done. He helped him with his technique, and that's how they became close friends. So essentially, it's all coming from a place of love. So that's why you should never turn a blind eye to things that you personally don't like. You should always do what you can about it, just like my father did. If we all kept our mouth shut about things that we don't like but others do, how will we make everyone aware of the horribleness of having a different taste? How is the world going to be unified if we all don't think alike? Having a different opinion. How the hell can we expect ourselves to live in a world where this is acceptable? Is that what great figures who were disfigured and hung upside down wanted for us? Is that what they gave their life for? So we cannot just have an opinion of our own, which is different from what I think? We cannot agree to disagree with me? What kind of talk is that? How did we forget our mission as human beings of universal bigotry in humanity? What am I saying? How did we forget our mission as human beings of universal bigotry and inhumanity? Do you have any idea the self-control it takes to not let your power get to your head? The power that you have been ordained to keep the balance in the universe by contributing your share of negativity so the universe functions steadily and doesn't get lopsided. You think entropy is solely Nietzsche's doing? Can you imagine a world without me where people just mind their own business and do what they can to change what they are bothered with? Like, really, how is that gonna help people like me who have the weight of the entire world on their shoulders? What? No one asked you to do that? See, life doesn't work this way. Sometimes you have to take responsibility of the entire world and every single person in it, even if they do not give you their consent. You have to do the far right thing. You have to think for them and make them think like you and agree with you. That's the only way to cement your ass to your beloved seat and keep thinking for your people. Hate is only combated with love. Love would be unemployed without hate. Do you know how noble it is to hate? Hate and anger needs to be let out for love to enter. Like if my father didn't beat the crap out of me, how would he later realize the value of love and make room for love for my mother's sister? I'm helping him shower love on our family, literally. And I want to help the world realize the value of love. So I play the bad cop. Hating on men who love other men is just to make them embrace women. I'm doing a favor to women, and hating on women is just to let them know they are no less than men and deserve equality in every aspect of life. See, it all makes sense when you look at the bigger picture. Again, I'm not a hater. I'm someone who uses the power of hate to spread love. Like, I hate my parents. I hate myself. So therefore, I can use this hate and let it out on strangers and make them realize what is wrong with them and make the world a better place. Like, I see someone saying something I don't like on social media, and then I write in the comments like, hey, go fuck your mother. They read it and they're like, hey, that's sick. Now they feel sad their mother is getting abused. And now they go give their mother a hug. See, the hate for my parents helped them realize the love they have for their parents. How can you ever speak ill of me when my intentions are this pure? In this fast-paced world where everyone is always busy with themselves, no one has any time to spend with their family, no one has time for their parents who love them the most in the world. Do you see anyone reminding them how much they should love their parents? And then you have a guy who spends his days telling busy folks how much their mother means to him. I want them to go spend time with their mother, their family. But if I tell them go spend time with your family, go chat with your mother, they're never going to pay any attention to it. But if I let them know how I'm going to spend time with their mother, their sister, how I'm going to make love to their mother and sister together by putting a clear picture in their head, they'll immediately go talk to their family. It all comes from a place of love, and this love comes from a place of hate, the hate that I have for myself and my own family. If I had a good relationship with my family, we were all happy, how can I generate any feelings of hatred for the families of others who were just like me having a good time with their family? How can I do the God's work of letting people know that they should cherish their families? Stoic philosophy can kiss my ass. I only care about the lives of others. Where in the world can you find another person as concerned about others and their family members as much as me? Family is everything. Without your loved ones, nothing matters. No amount of money, career can take the place of love. Only when you don't have love in your life, you realize the value of love. Since I had these realizations real early in my life, it is my duty to impart them to people so they don't end up like me. So I don't see how anyone can call me a hater. A hater gets joy from hurting people he hates. How can I be a hater when I have no joys in life? I don't need joy in my life. I have a mission to accomplish, to make the world a better place where people are not afraid to express their bitterness and hurt others if that's what makes them feel better. How else will people learn to be kind to themselves if they don't know how to be inhumane and cruel to others? I know what it feels like to be hated by others. I know it in my bones because I was raised on hate. So, how can I do anything that will make others feel the way I felt as a child? All I can do is try, and hopefully someday everyone will feel the way I felt as a child. Someday we all can empathize with each other. But for that to happen, we have to let people know how we feel. We cannot suppress it inside, it will kill us. One thing I learned from my father is never to suppress your emotions and let all your anger and hatred out of your system. Take it out on your loved ones if you need to. That's what we are here for. And he did that till the end of his life. Eventually, he took all his anger out on himself. And that's how he is successfully resting in peace now. So, having seen my father, how can I not learn to let the negativity out of my system and put myself at ease when my time comes? I need to share my lessons with the world and help people let their negativity out of their system before that fortunate day arrives when I get to reunite with my dad. I'm sure that's what my father would have wanted me to do. I remember him telling me one day how proud he is of me when I stand up to him and fight for myself, even after he has broken my hand and shoved it up my ass, and I am bleeding from my nose as I no longer can block his punches since my other hand is busy taking the broken hand out of my ass. Daddy. I want to make him proud and show the world how my daddy raised me until he had to raise himself high enough to meet God. So don't you dare call me a hater. Do you know how much it pains me to write anything I want about anyone and not let them know my real identity, because that would mean acceptance of my own self, admitting that it is really me who is writing all this horrible shit and not some username underscore 123. I cannot do that. I cannot let myself get cocky, especially not after that one time I tried getting cocky and was instantly shut down by someone who knew a lot more than me. He shut me up not with his words but with actions. And just so you know, taking it in your mouth is not a pleasurable experience. I don't know how those guys make it look so tempting on videos. Do you know how I lose sleep for days when I learn that someone has actually killed himself from reading what I wrote about them in the comments when all I wanted was to spread love, and now someone is dead from reading what I wrote in the comments, and he's gone forever and will never come back to tell the world that it was my words that made him take that step, and all I cared about was spreading love. He's gone, and I will never get my credit. And you think it's easy being a hater? Think twice before saying something like that. Just like I do before writing anything about anyone. I think twice about whether I should end the criticism with a reminder of the person's mother or sister. It's a huge dilemma in my world. We love them both so much. So whose nude picture should I paint in their head with my words? It's a really tough nut to crack, and it's coming from someone who had to constantly crack the nuts of his uncle inside his mouth. Just so you know, you really need to have a good control of your tongue. So, this lesson I constantly apply when I'm speaking ill of others. I never say anything that I can never hear about myself or my family. So, I always abuse the members of their family. I hate people for not taking a stand for the right things, like not supporting the right movements, the right movies, the right ideas, the right voices, the right people. I hate people for being polite. How is politeness gonna make our nation great? How is a nation gonna become number one if we all don't support the one and only man screaming at the top of his lungs every night on television? How else will his channel become number one and eventually lead the nation to become the biggest superpower in the world? One man and his one and only voice will skyrocket the growth of our nation, 1 decibel at a time. And we all need to be there for him every night when he starts his battle by turning the volume on our TVs to the maximum. This is what I want from people. Not polite and respectful discourse. I see no respect for spiritual gurus who have dedicated their entire life to understand themselves and life itself, and now they share their wisdom with the world. So it makes me really sad when I see people being so disrespectful to spiritual gurus. And I cannot just sit and watch wisdom getting mocked and do nothing. So I make sure to abuse every family member of anyone who disrespects my guru, especially those other gurus who dared to criticize my guru. I hate people for being nice because I know what niceness leads to. I know it's just a masquerade to hide your real evil intentions. I know why people act nice to you so they can get you to do something even if you don't want to do it. Oh, you're like a son to me now. Come give me a hand. Should have never gotten close to that watchman. No wonder he likes to stay up all night. I lost so many friends as I had the wrong understanding of what giving someone a hand meant. In what sense do I consider myself a hater? There's only one exception. I just hate this one motherfucker in my life. I hate him with every single ounce of hatred that I can generate. I have to see him every fucking day and I can't do anything about it. No matter how many mirrors I shatter, I can never touch that son of a bitch. Someone once said, don't attach malice to anything that can be explained by stupidity. So I never attach malice to anything. I only attach it to the people who produce those things. People make the world, and in order to change the world, we need to change the people in it. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a dream to change the world that I live in. And I think in order to do that, gender change is the way to go. If we all changed our gender to the opposite sex, we'd finally be unified and fully understand each other. If we all stepped into each other's genitals, we'd realize that we are all the same. There'd be no more fights between men and women, because we'll know how it feels. We can feel how it feels like to be the other person. So yeah, that's one of my goals, and in order to achieve that, I have to be misandrist and misogynist at the same time. Let's peel another layer of the so-called hate. I know social media content is an example. I don't give a fuck about you. That's not the same thing as hate. I don't care if you live or die. I'll be sad if you die because I'll no longer be able to hate your work. But I don't hate you as a person. Keep that in mind. I hope for your downfall. I enjoy seeing you suffer. Not because I hate you as a person, but because I'm happy to see others hating your work too. And now I'm no longer lonely as I have friends. Finally, I'm over the moon when something horrible happens to you, because now my mind has something to be occupied with. Finally, some relief from the constant contemplation of suicide. I'm not a big believer in the language humans use to communicate, like so much effort to construct a sentence like, my name my name is blah 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 blah. So I was over the moon when emojis came into being, as now I no longer have to spend days trying to construct a sentence. I can just use those emojis. And also the cherry on top was those reaction emojis, where you just have to hold the like icon for a few seconds and all those reactions pop up. I now no longer have to spend hours trying to articulate my feelings. I can just use those reactions. I spend my entire day telling everyone on the internet why they are idiots. Isn't that such a gift to spot people so easily? Even Joseph McCarthy would have been a fan of mine. Where would the world be if I didn't exist? The world is a better place thanks to me. I'm always at the top of every comment section, with everyone liking the sentence I wrote, which took me an entire day. Yes, hard work pays off. I'm not really valued as much as a fan who likes sucking cock and licking ass. I don't let lust affect my judgment. I use lust by incorporating it in my writing, by telling people how I will use the power of my lust that I have been conserving to screw their family up if they don't get their act together. You need tough love. I was raised on tough love by my family, especially by my uncle, who showed me that the only constant in life is pain. And so he raised my threshold of pain by using the power of his lust. And I learned the value of lust the hard way, and I know how powerful the energy is, so I won't dare waste it. The world has gotten softer and I need people to toughen up. I need people to learn to absorb harsh times, and I help them by giving them harsh times. And what better than social media where you can say anything to anyone and get away with it? This is the biggest blessing of the 21st century. I can now reach so many people and touch so many lives. I swear by my constitutional right to freedom of speech. People don't get it that in order to exercise your freedom of speech, you need to be completely free. You cannot expect to speak freely if you are always busy. Work is the last thing I'm concerned with. How can you expect to have any freedom of speech if you are always occupied with job, money, career, work? What was the point of all that struggle for freedom? You have a superpower on your fingertips and you're not even using it. What's gonna happen to our world when everyone becomes so self absorbed that no one has time for each other? So I take it upon myself to let those people know what really matters in life. It's all coming from a place of love. And isn't that evident from my writing? I always end my criticism with a reminder of your mom, dad, and sister. Who else in this god-forsaken, selfish world has time for your parents? I'm not a hater. I don't hate the world. I just hate the people in it. I love the world. I love my planet. Its round shape, its revolution around the sun, how hydrated it is. What is there not to love about the world? I'm fighting for a good cause, fighting for a world where we all can just coexist peacefully. If we all think the way I think and believe what I believe, just do what I want or try dying if you can't accept my opinion. I'm fighting for a day where humans can collectively accept that I was right and they were wrong. To be right always is so tiring and depressing to know that only you know what is good for every single human on this planet, that only you know what they should do and not do. I know how these dictators do it. I think self love is highly overrated. What about self hatred? If you really think about it, self love eventually led to all those horrible atrocities in the past and even today. You really think Hitler could have ever done something so horrible if he hated himself for being such an anti Semite and shot himself much earlier due to this hatred for himself? He did what he did because he loved himself and his ideas way too much. I think it's high time we teach some self hatred to people. Self hatred would have been so much better for those people under dictatorial regimes if those dictators hated themselves enough to kill themselves. So many human lives could have been saved. Oh, how sad the Spanish people would have been if Franco had killed himself, especially women and Protestants marching in the streets mourning his death. The problem is that people who we hate loved themselves way too much, and the people who have done nothing wrong hate themselves way too often. Like, I love my mom. Why did I yell at my mom? I did kill myself. Whereas they have committed horrible atrocities and still managed to make room for love, even going so far as to have mistresses. They pursued happiness even after murdering millions of people. So, my point being, we need more of self hatred in this world. Happiness is the biggest scam everyone tries to sell. In my opinion, why do we want to be happy when the universe clearly signals to us otherwise? No one asked us to strive for happiness. One of my favorite lines from a song is, "Pretend you're happy when you're blue, it isn't very hard to do." I have lived by that line all my life. I never chase happiness because I don't want it. Happiness is what we chase to fool ourselves. Maybe we're unhappy because we are chasing something we are not supposed to because we are never gonna get it. My purpose is never to be happy. It's to do what I need to do before my time is up. I need to serve my purpose and impart what I received from this life. And when my job is done, I should courageously take my leave from this world. This is my philosophy. People are sad, so they want to be happy. Not me. I never feel sad. I barely feel anything, let alone sadness. So why would I think about happiness? People want what they don't have. I don't want a penis. I have a penis, and that too a big one. Just ask your mother. They're a small display of my writing talent that I use on social media to change the world. I chase contentment, and it comes from acceptance of things as they are that cannot be changed. Like my father knew what he had to do to attain peace, and he didn't wait for life to hand it to him. He just took what he wanted by force, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I know what you're thinking. I wasn't born yesterday, but I'm gonna go out today.